Hello, party people of the world. You're here with Danny and Evan on the first cut again. Today's episode, we are doing experimental, like Evan and I like to be with each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's waste no time getting into our first pick, Dead Rider. The album is Crew Licks. The first song is Grandma Blues. Evan, how you feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling all right.
Are you sure?
I'm feeling all right. It's a beautiful day.
Hell yeah.
Got good vibes in the air.
You're wearing sunglasses inside?
Sunglasses, yeah. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, your little place here is actually fairly bright.
You mean outside or inside? Inside it's a little bright.
Well, yeah, the sun is shining in, and it's, it's just comfortable to wear the shades right now. I don't know. It's doing me some good.
Would you say sunlight over you no matter what you do?
What is that from?
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't know what it's from?
Sunlight over you no matter what you do?
Well, change the context to where you're talking about yourself.
Sunlight over me no matter what?
No matter what I do. It's Fleet Foxes.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. I'm like, that's like one of your favorite songs by one of your favorite bands.
Oh yeah, it's more of the melody, I guess. Yeah. I don't recognize it much of that. Yeah, I guess you could throw out like any random lyric.
Sunlight over me no matter what I do. Yeah.
Melody.
So we're being a little fast and loose today with experimental, but I will say the three picks we have here for you today are definitely at least experimental in some right. And they're all really fucking good. And Evan does not like this album art nearly as much as I do.
Oh, it's
just in case you're having trouble
creepy.
seeing it. There you go, buddy.
I find it highly unpleasant. If anyone,
I love it.
If anyone listening or watching has seen Mulholland Drive by David Lynch, they might get kind of spooked out by this in the same way that I do. The whole man behind Winky's bit, it strikes me in the same kind of way. Yeah,
that's a David Lynch film, right?
Yeah,
I've still never seen it, but I'd like to.
I wouldn't honestly say that it's much of an interesting. It's definitely avant-garde. It's it's experimental, so it fits to talk about on his list. And, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would reckon this band maybe is familiar with the David Lynch canon, because I think I think he's very influential in any given experimental group, but so the shit definitely freaks me out.
So if you close your eyes, what do you think of the music?
I like it. Honestly, I feel like I could close my eyes and, like, not knowing anything about the band, I could tell they're from Chicago.
Oh,
definite, because like I feel like it's got like a Chicago vibe to it. Like, I mean, I'm not an expert at all on regional sounds and stuff, but sure. I feel like Chicago has a very distinctive like sound as far as like experimental rock or indie rock or noise rock or anything like that. I feel like they have a very distinctive kind of sound.
Yeah.
And so
it does maybe remind me maybe like 5 to 10%, which is obviously very, very small, of like Swans, some like pretty early Swans, like maybe like mid 90s. So
yeah, it's too groovy.
Yeah,
it's just like, I think maybe that's part of it, is like the groove. It's got a good groove. It's definitely like fucking kind of twisted and experimental, but it's got that groove, and it keep your hips swinging,
Well, to be fair, I mean, this song has blues in the name. I think it goes a little away from that. Fairly quick looking.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll see in a second here.
Maybe I'm wrong, though. I could be remembering wrong. Let's see. a little different. I don't know, man. I just like this shit a lot. I really, really enjoy and admire music that challenges musicality. You know what I mean? In one way or another.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This is interesting. This is like
well, I own it, so
it's like some like
just do it whenever you want.
It's very romantic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, of course I get like lots of like vibes from other similar artists.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think it's worth saying any of them because it's just like, yeah, I don't want to like sound reductive, like comparing it to anything. But
yeah, and see, that's the funny thing. Like I mentioned Swans, which I think it's kind of like, it's almost a cop-out to be like, oh yeah, this band's experimental. They remind me of Swans. It's like, is that the only fucking experimental band you know? And when I say like, yeah, they kind of remind me of that, I meant in that last song specifically, and only like the most vaguely, like 5%. It was like I feel like this band has maybe listened to Swans before. That's what I was getting out of it. Not like they're huge fans of or trying to emulate in any means, but anyways.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like I hear a tune like this. How much support does this band have?
A pretty fair amount.
Fair amount, okay. And how like prolific are they? Do they have lots of work? I wonder if there's a description maybe we can gander at.
Okay, let's check out the description real quick.
A monster, a damned chimera, reconflecting man in pieces. Audio, verite, dance and blues, pop and rock varieties. Not created but lived with parts of life on the run, reused to facilitate other parts. Not whole, but fully animate. Brutal and beautiful. Even if they didn't invent this wheel, they brought some badass spinner rims to the table.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that the ones they're being compared to, like Daughter and Deerhoof. I'm like,
well,
really? I'm not saying that to be like either of those bands are bad, because I think Daughters and Deerhoof are both perfectly fine bands of their own right, but I don't know how you would compare that to this.
You know, yeah, I think this kind of sound as like, you know, I don't know what their like lead track is on what. But this one at least definitely has like some kind of like commercial appeal. Like I think it's definitely like it has that prettiness to it, that like nice production quality. But it is like this rhythm is just like so fucked up. I think it really does like kind of like challenge, you know, your you know, something deep within, which I think
see
is
this
cool.
being played on like NPR.
Yeah. Or certainly like you know, like the blog radio or something like the Sirius XM. They do the Sirius XM. Oh geez, now this is just like the Clash or something.
Yeah, it's all over the place. That's what I like about it. Hey Evan, what do you think of that album cover?
I find it highly erotic and sexual.
There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Freudian psychology. Just kidding.
I think if I were aroused in any way, I could see that picture and immediately it'd be crushed like a fucking pancake and just like completely, you know. I find it just so highly fucking disturbing. Like that's the kind of monster that would appear at the side of my bed in my worst nightmare.
I like the euphemism. If I was aroused, I'd be immediately crushed like a pancake.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, the imagery of...
No, I got it. I'm just thinking of literally like flat and circular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Of course, it would widen, you know. It'd have to widen to, you know, because science and shit like that.
Right.
Surface area.
Because, you know, science.
Science.
Oh, science. I like that little auctioneer. What do you think of auctioneers? Have you been to an auction?
I've been to an option.
Well, I got this saddle at an auction. The man working at the auction assured me that this was an auction.
I've never been to an auction. Of course, I've been to like silent auctions, but
that's different.
I know it's just like completely not the same thing. No, I've never been to like a regular auctioneer auction. No, I've never been. That'd be kind of neat.
I like
obviously.
auctions. Estate sales often have auctions. Plus, I mean, you know, you get someone's shit that they had before they died for like nothing, so that's really cool. I definitely don't recommend going to a livestock auction unless you really want to deep in your vegan values. Because boy, let me tell you, if you've ever wanted to see like firsthand what fucking animal abuse and cruelty looks like, that's the place to go. Well, I mean, the place to go is a slaughterhouse, but short of that, it's an auction.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like,
it's fucking dark.
You know, I talked to some coworkers of mine and just other, you know, people I know, acquaintances of mine about that kind of topic, and I'm like, hey, look, this is my philosophy on, you know, I'm a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever. I mean,
you're a pessimist.
I'm pretty fluid. I'm a pessimist. I'm a fluid pessimist. But I pretty much, I guess the main thing I say is like, look, I don't care what anyone else does. I think it's important for people to be aware of where their food comes from.
Yep,
and then I know you said this to me before, so I use this bit of like, in my opinion, if you're not comfortable slaughtering the animal, then maybe you shouldn't be consuming the animal.
Absolutely.
And I've talked
this
to...
was the feature.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Anyways, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, and I've talked to people at my work about like, and so, you know, that's what I think. I think if you wouldn't want to slaughter the animal, you shouldn't eat the animal.
Yep.
And I've had people say, "Oh, I would absolutely slaughter the animal," and I'd be like, "Have you ever actually done that?"
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't, but I would. I love steak. I never slaughtered a cow. I don't think I've ever even like really seen a cow in real life, but I would.
I
oh
seriously,
God, it'd be so easy.
seriously.
I'd be like,
Hey, I think it should be like if it gets to a point where meat is much less accepted, and it's more like I accept that you'll eat that, you know, like if you accept the real sin of it, essentially. Which is funny because I'm a huge meat eater, but I've slaughtered countless fucking animals. I know where my food typically comes from more often than not. Granted, if I go and eat out, that's different, but
he leaves a trail of dead fucking livestock everywhere he goes.
I do. A trail of fucking rotten bones. But anyways, I've slaughtered several animals. I seriously think like it should be practically a legal requirement once you're like an adult that like if you want to eat meat, you have to not only kill but butcher at least one animal to like really fully realize what it is that you're doing.
I know, yeah. It's interesting. It's like, I mean,
I wouldn't do that. Then it's like, well, then you shouldn't eat meat.
I know. You know, I've never come close to doing that. I never really like, you know, I wasn't raised on a farm. I never like, yeah. Well, that's the main thing, of course.
Yeah.
I was never raised on a farm or anything like that. I mean, I certainly like. I mean, I am within like 50 feet of livestock right now, of course. But so I see them. You know, I think it's one thing when you see a real live like animal like a horse or something in front of you and you realize that like, wow, this is a living creature with a heartbeat and a brain and that feels emotions and they're smart. And it's like, and then, you know, then I like think about that question and it's like, would you slaughter this animal if, you know, you want to continue eating them? Of course, horses, that's different, right? You know, fine. People don't eat horse meat. You shouldn't. Don't do it.
I actually was really floored a couple of weeks ago. I saw a steer being taken off to slaughter, and it had been killed, and it was being like hung up. It was being like pre-dressed, essentially, is the term, and it's a much nicer way of saying it. Before being taken off, and it was a steer I remember, which for those who are not familiar, essentially means a bull that was castrated at birth, because despite the fact that horses are very smart, cows are not. Cows are really dumb. And bulls will definitely reproduce with their sisters, with their mothers, like they don't care. So you very often make young male cows steers. Often. You have breeding bulls and then you have steers. But this steer was fucking massive. Like, it may have been the biggest steer I've ever seen. But yeah, like this thing, when it was being dressed, I noticed like this fucking like box truck that was going to take it off was holding it up by its ankles, and it was like its front feet were touching the ground, and this fucking cow was so goddamn big that its entire like hind legs stuck up over this box truck. And that was one thing to me was, obviously, again, not being too graphic, just like seeing that, I was so amazed at how big that fucking cow was. And it's one of those things when you see things at certain angles and only think of like certain things and perspectives, you don't really think like, that's a massive fucking animal. But yeah, that thing was crazy big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. They weigh a lot too, cows do.
Yeah.
Big old bastards.
At least 50 pounds.
Yeah, they're a little more than 50 pounds. It's not uncommon for them to be up to 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just interesting because at my work, we sell whole pigs that are like 75 pounds, but you realize
Did you bring me one, by the way?
Yeah. You realize though that like that's on like the very fucking small side. Like pigs get fucking enormous. It's so crazy. Like, so a 75 pound pig is like, it's like when you look at it, like, you know, this frozen pig carcass, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty big. It's like, oh, they get fucking huge.
It's weird though for me, having like grown up with the idea of killing and slaughtering animals being like very, very normalized, to see a lot of the things that were like traditional or almost ritualistic in some cases, like growing up, that I can look back on now as an old man and be like, that was pretty fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Evan, what do you think? You about ready to move on, buddy?
Yeah.
From this topic?
I think, yeah.
If I keep talking about this topic, I'm going to get gross. Like I'm going to talk about some shit that might get me into some trouble.
Yeah, well, I've certainly enjoyed the music.
Yeah, man.
Here.
It's real good. Dead Rider. Keep doing what you're doing.
It's provocative, it's evocative, it's
erotic,
kind of disturbing, and
I like it.
Yeah, it's certainly experimental, and I like it.
Hell yeah. Cheers, guys. Okay, people. We're on with our second pick. We're on with our second pick. The band is called the Mercury Tree. This album is called Spider Milk. Great fucking album name. We'll go ahead and start with I Am a Husk. Now, this being said, experimental is not, god damn it, experimental is not the first phrase I would think of when referring to the Mercury Tree, who I do know a little bit. I'd say they're kind of more like prog rock, but I do think they're a little experimental, and as you may be hearing in this, be like, this sounds kind of wrong. It's because their instruments are all tuned microtonally, so they're not on any perfect pitches. I think they're like exactly halfway between.
One of the things that makes my toes curl a little bit is
microtones.
It's like I'm all about like fresh, exciting, and new, and I like microtonal stuff. But it's one of like the most challenging things for me to like really get over, just like the 12 tone, scale.
Yes, I really enjoy microtonal music. It's pretty uncommon though, really, like at least in the Western world.
Yeah.
But With that being said, the Mercury Tree, they are a local pick. They're from Portland, Oregon. Our good friend Michael True, I believe, has played with them a few times. So that's pretty cool. I do not know them personally. I've listened to a little bit of their music, but I wouldn't mind knowing them personally. If you guys want to meet up and have a beer, say what's up. We'll make a whole fucking thing of it when I go down to Portland. So, what's up? TMT. Say what's up. Say what's up. You know what I mean? See what's up.
Yeah.
What's goody?
Yeah.
Anyways. No, it's a super cool album though. And they have I listened to, what was the other album in there as I listened to? Permutations. That was a good one. Look up their shit. You know what I mean? Buy it. Go see them at a show or whatever. They're a big PNW band, so you know.
It's such like a grungy tone. Like,
yeah.
Woo.
Isn't that badass?
Thick. Yeah.
Yeah, she thick. Damn, boy, it's thick. I had to move so far away from the microphone to do that.
Chocolate rain. I think I'll make that
Jesus.
fucking joke every goddamn time you say you move away from the microphone.
Yeah, you do. It do be that way. Evan, what do you think of this album cover?
Definitely not creepy in any way. I think it's just kind of cool.
You say that sincerely?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I don't find that creepy.
I don't find it creepy merely because it is so obviously not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
If it was realistic, shudders.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate spiders. I hate things in and or near my eye. So the idea of like a fucking tarantula crawling out of my eye hole.
Well, I'm sure you can go on like Live Leak or something and find an actual video of like
I
a
really
spider.
don't want to think about it.
So yeah, I mean, well, me neither. I certainly I don't think spiders aren't crux for me. They're not something that I have a fear of necessarily, but I definitely wouldn't want to intentionally expose myself.
Evan
to
eats
anything
spiders
like
for fun.
that. Yeah. Maybe once I have. Yeah. Maybe
Speaking of spiders and fun and Evan, did you ever see The Joker? Sorry, did you ever see Joker? The newish Joaquin Phoenix movie.
Walking penis.
Walking Penis. Joaquin Phoenix, you asshole.
No, I've never seen it.
You should. It's really good. I mean, I wouldn't watch it with the kids, but it's really good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I think I can give it a shot.
I watched it with the gal last night, and she loved it. And that's actually what she said. Like I said, what did you think when it was done? She's like, oh, I loved it. It was so great.
Interesting.
It's really good.
Yep. Yes. Joaquin Phoenix. So he did. Man, yeah, he's been out there for a while. He did what? That Johnny Cash. He did Johnny
Walk
Cash.
the Line, one of my favorite movies. I have 2 copies of that movie. I don't know why, but I do. Actually, I do know why. It's because I bought one, and my ex had one, and then when we broke up, she just wound up not taking it back. So I have 2 copies of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I at one point had 3 copies of Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and I don't know why that was the case.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I love that movie so much.
I like that movie, but I recently heard someone like on a podcast, I think, like making a joke from that movie and like just talking about it for a while. Just like the whole wee thing.
Yeah.
And
That's a pretty easy
I was just like kind of cringing the whole time. I'm just kind of sitting there like, honestly, I don't find this as funny as I did when I was like, 12 or 13 or whatever, however old I was when that came out.
I still think it's pretty fucking funny.
And I'm sure if I like watched the whole movie that I would find a good amount of it still funny. But
It'd
certainly
be
some of like
gems.
the most mimetic parts from the movie I think are.
Is that a real word?
Yeah.
Mimetic?
Yeah.
Like memeable?
Yeah. I think Richard Dawkins coined it.
Okay. I've never heard that, but I like that.
Yeah.
I think of like, yes, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I think were like real, memes, I guess I'll say, for that time. I don't find funny, like the whole fucking, I need gopher chucks. Like, yeah, it's not that funny anymore. I still think the scene where he literally punches a hole straight through that one guy, that was pretty funny. And the narrator's just like, I mean, crap, man, look at that. Like, that makes me laugh.
That's right.
Nah, I'll kill him. I'll kill him dead. That was pretty funny. Or the one fucking joke I love where he says like, what do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? My ass. And then just everybody starts laughing. I still think that's kind of funny.
I don't remember shit from that movie.
Or of course the when he's going to the markets, he's like, I'll take a pound of nuts. That's a lot of nuts. It's like that's pretty funny.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! I love
There's
that.
some redeemable value.
That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that? Fuck.
And a Coke to drink or something.
Yeah. Wow. Totally different. But I like it. I like the tie-in. Give me a Dr. Pepper. Woo. That was a good tie-in.
Say, yeah, I don't think he said Coke. Yeah.
Well, he says a Coke at one point.
Oh, does he?
He says a Coke to drink or something.
Oh.
I think that's the first time. It's like, get me a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries and a Coke to drink or something. And then he laughs and he comes back. It's like, what do you want to drink? He's like, give me a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you got it right.
That's right, dude.
That's right.
Whew. Microtonal stuff. It's
I really like it.
Yeah. I like it too. It's challenging. I think it's one of those things where it's just like, it's hard for this to just be on in the background and not have it be like the center of attention, because the microtonal thing, I think, just demands so much attention.
It's like eating sugar-free natural nut butter.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Woo. Shit's actually
But it's
pretty
good. It's
yeah.
worth it.
Pretty yummy. What kind of stuff is mixed nut butter? So it's all
Yeah,
kinds of crazy
it's
stuff in it?
almond, cashew, pumpkin seed, chia seed, and
Bless you.
flaxseed. What? Busted nuts?
Bless you.
Nusted butts?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, I'm into this shit.
Go down to the
Don't tell me what to do.
description. See
Your
if we
fucking
can-
hands work. I'm just kidding.
See if we can.
Would you like me to keep going?
That's probably fine. This is fine.
This is what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, I guess you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Okay. I can actually read this for some reason. Okay.
What's your sunglasses?
I guess. A mammoth project of over 2 years, this is our first full-length album composed entirely in microtonal tuning using 17 notes per octave. Ooh, yeah, octave per octave. Using an assortment of custom-built instruments. That's kind of what I wanted to know.
Get on with it!
So custom-built instruments, okay, and synthetic sounds, and a newly expanded lineup. We tried to craft something that's beautiful yet completely unfamiliar. We hope these novel pitches, typically rarely heard by the average music listener, will introduce you to an alien and fascinating world, yet one that's still rich with humanity and emotion. I probably sound like I'm fucking in 4th grade trying to read this shit. But,
You always sound like you're in 4th grade. What's new?
You know what happened when I was in 4th grade? 9/11.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought that was like 5th or 6th grade.
I was 4th grade,
Wow.
brother. I don't think I necessarily want to get into a conversation about 9/11 though, so.
Well, especially a divisive one where we're going to argue on the timeline of a very specific...
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, especially a divisive one where, you know, we don't know who actually perpetrated 9/11.
No. No, that's true.
I think the government should do an open and honest investigation. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Well, but steel beams can melt jet fuel.
That's true. That's very true. Did I ever tell you the fucking, I kind of, chived, when I was working at, you know the one. The place I was working at a couple of years ago that makes wood and wood products.
Wood and wood accessories?
Yeah, I didn't really want to say the name. I don't know why, but I don't really want to say the name of the place I used to work. But the place I used to work that makes wood and wood products, we had to have like mandatory, like yearly fire safety courses. But the big thing is they were talking about like different types of fire and different types of fire extinguishers, so you can put said types of fires out. And you know, they talk about like, you know, there's like metal fires, electrical fires, you know, certain things like that. But it was funny, I remember. God, that's fucking sick. Hang on, I'll come back to it.
I mainly like the tone. Like I really love the like grungy tone. But anyways,
I like all of it. But anyways, so it was funny to me that I remember the guy was you know, going over, all right, so what are some types of flammable metals? Which is funny because I think right off the cuff a normal person would be like, flammable metals? I don't fucking know. But you know, people start listing a few, and like I think like phosphorus was one that came up, which is like, yeah, no shit, it's used a lot in burning things. But I remember I said, what about aluminum and iron oxide? And the guy goes, okay, maybe? And I'm like, maybe? Isn't it your job to know, like, what is flammable and destructive?
What the hell?
And he's like, I don't know if aluminum and iron oxide are flammable. I'm like, well, aluminum and iron oxide is fucking thermite, which is the most flammable and destructive fucking substance that we know of. So, yeah, it's flammable.
But homeboy in his place.
I thought it was so fun. I didn't get like that, like worked up about it, but I did, like, he was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, aluminum and iron oxide is thermite, which is the most fucking explosive.
Yeah, we saw Breaking Bad.
Yeah, did they? Yeah, they did use thermite in Breaking Bad. Yeah. I got a little excited there for a second. I had a little voice crack. But yeah, no, exactly. But I'm like, that shit burns through literally anything. Like, yeah, it's fucking flammable.
It's kind of how I feel sometimes when like I'm doing homework with the kiddos, and like, you know, it'd be like a subtraction problem. And it's like, oh, here, this is the answer I got. Is that right? I'm like,
sure.
I'm supposed to be really wise. I think it might be right. Yeah, interesting. Well, yeah, neat. Thermite. Maybe I should use thermite on the homework.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not only going to burn your homework, but I'm going to burn through the table, the subfloor, and into the fucking core of the earth.
Yeah. The Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom. There you go. I thought that was so fucking funny. And he's like, maybe? I'm like, how do I know more about fires than you do?
I was gonna say, wait, so was it like an inquisitive maybe, or was it like a you're probably wrong maybe?
It was an inquisitive.
Okay.
He wasn't like,
okay.
You don't know what you're talking.
All right, well, I guess.
So yeah, there's some concession.
I was gonna say, yeah, was it like when someone says like, I don't know about that? Is that
No.
Is it like, oh, I literally don't know about that, or is it like, I don't know about that, you're wrong?
I'm pretty sure you're wrong, but I don't want to overtly call you out.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Mercury Tree. This is badass, man. These guys are pretty wicked.
Fucking come have a beer with us, the Mercury Tree, or we'll come have a beer with you. But, you know, HMU fam, winky face with the little 3 that makes it kind of look like a cat.
Yeah. That's some old school shit right there.
I like the saxophone under it, too. That sounds badass. Despite that, Evan, you think you're about ready to move on, diddly?
I think I'm quite ready. I think I've reinvigorated my headspace with this interesting novel music.
I can see that you're ready. All right. Well, thank you, the Mercury Tree. Make sure to hit us up and let me know what kind of whiskey you like. so I can bring you some of that sweet, sweet WW. And we're back, people, with our last pick.
We're
the
back.
band is... I'll do it again. Don't even fucking test me. We're back with the band Yowie. The album is Synchromysticism. The first track is Ineffable Dolphin Communion. Evan, what do you think of this pick that you've never heard?
I think it's great. I think it's a great name. Well, I mean, the album name, I should say.
I really like the band name, to be honest.
I like the band name too. Yeah, I like it. It sounds like some kind of sounds like an onomatopoeia that you would like say if you like accidentally like burned yourself, like yowie.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Give it a second.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dissonant.
That fucking bass tone is insane. I love it.
They were like Flight of the Bumblebee, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting. You know, I guess I don't remember this one quite as well. Obviously, I've heard this before, but it was a little while ago, so I don't remember the territory this goes exactly into. But if I recall correctly, it's quite dissonant for at least a good long period of time.
I like dissonance.
Oh, I like dissonance too. You know, I feel like a long time ago I was way more into dissonance than I am now. I don't necessarily know why.
I love it now. I can listen to it straight.
That's why I like the microtonal thing from the last pick. Like I love the microtonal thing, but like it's for some reason become more challenging for me to like listen to that like dissonance has become more challenging for me as I go on in years for some reason or another. I don't know, maybe I'm just a lightweight pussy. I don't know. But this is badass nevertheless. I mean, I'm gonna actually go in here.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking good. Yeah, shit is fat. What do you think the likelihood that this band is from Antarctica?
I think it's highly likely.
Yeah, probably. Sounds like it's from another goddamn world, so...
Yeah, it reminds me of
What does it remind you of?
I can't remember the band name, sorry.
It's okay. It reminds me, like, super vaguely of, like, Behold the Octopus.
Yeah, okay, Behold the Octopus. That's not what I was thinking of, but yeah, like, definitely. For sure. Yeah.
Very, very vaguely.
Yeah, it reminds me of, it's like some kind of like old school like metalcore, I guess, but like definitely like a lot more geared towards just shifting fucking dissonance. Ooh. Is this all instrumental?
I think so.
Yowie plays a dense foreign language through two guitars which communicate in an angry six-string banter over strictly scattered drums. The power trio speaks in alien code with founding member... I can't read that.
Looks like a Defense Stritter.
Defense Stritter playing the part of percussive conductor. Each song comes densely packed with rare repetitions, a series of guitar riffs passed like clever one-liners with unbridled speed. Oh, I was about to say speed. Less. That's just part of it.
Yeah. Last meaning, like, you want to make this section smaller again?
I was about to correct it and say fewer.
Right. I was going to say something. I don't remember what it was. It does upset me a little bit that this was made in 2017 and it doesn't seem that it made anything since. I hope if you guys are still doing it big in Antarctica that you will consider making another album because this shit is fat.
I think music is actually illegal on Antarctica. I think that's the main reason.
Yeah. It's probably true. I saw recently, I was watching a video about like musical tones, and it was very interesting. I watched this video on how like oh goodness, what was his name? Eric Valentine, I think, from Queens of the Stone Age. Was it I can't remember. Whoever it was, one of the guitarists from Queens of the Stone Age, not Josh Homme. He got a lot of the tones from that album. Was that he actually played his guitar through a bass amp.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just kind of like overdrove the shit out of it, equalized it and everything, and it was really fascinating to watch. And it never like occurred to me like, oh yeah, I could play my guitar through a bass amp, drive the fuck out of it, and it would sound super fat.
I think the main thing, I know that a lot of people like, for example, the Fender Bassman is an extremely popular bass amp that's used for guitar because it has so much fucking headroom.
Yeah.
And people like love headroom.
Great amp.
And so, I mean, that's probably the main reason. I think that's cool. That's a really novel idea. I've never done anything with that. I don't have any bass amps.
Yeah. There was also a big thing too that they, and I don't know why this never occurred to me, but they tuned to like C standard for that album, for the album in particular that I was listening to.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Songs for the Dead.
Yeah.
Songs for the Deaf.
Songs for the Deaf. Yeah.
Not dead. Deaf.
You could have fucking said anything, and I would have just been like, yeah, yep, I remember that one.
You know that album.
I do, yeah. I mean, I know very vague amounts of Queens of the Stone Age. Pretty much, probably really just like their hits mainly.
Like no one knows.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow, yeah. I could go with the flow. Yeah. I like Queens of the Stone Age a lot. I like Josh Homme a lot.
Seems like a cool fellow.
Yeah.
And I like his connection with Mastodon too. You know, that's kind of cool.
I also really like that song that he did on Red Dead Redemption 2 with Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
My dad knows Willie Nelson.
No, he does not.
He does. He's laid floors for him.
Well, okay, but hang on. He's done floors for him, or he knows him?
Hey, he knows him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So he could be like,
for real,
Willie?
he's got
You wanna
stories.
smoke weed?
He's got stories.
Really?
Yeah, he's got
That's
stories.
amazing.
He'll be here in well, tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I'd really like to talk to him about that sometime. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know your dad. I know you met Bristol Palin from doing floors with your dad.
Yes.
But Willie Nelson.
Yes.
So hang on. Willie Nelson doesn't live in Alaska, does
No.
he? Where does Willie Nelson live?
At the time, I don't know. I don't. It's been a while since my dad told me the story. I think
You realize this is probably the most interesting thing you've ever said, right?
I don't know if this is like in like maybe the late 80s or the 90s or something.
I could talk about this for literally an hour.
It was somewhere in the South. It was not in Alaska, as far as I recall. I think it's maybe Texas somewhere.
Yeah, Texas. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'd have to ask my dad about it again because it's been a while.
I would really like you to do that.
Of course, go. You know, like go figure. I'm gonna ask him again, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that was a fucking joke. You believe that?"
Yeah, no shit.
It's like the Tom Segura joke.
With
Tommy
Lee
Lee
Jones
Jones is gay.
being
Right?
gay, yeah. I was like, nobody verifies shit. Yeah.
But I believe my dad. I think he's I think he's a trustworthy man. You know, because he looks like me, and so I don't want to think that anyone who looks like me isn't trustworthy.
What about Trevor James?
Tempura. You know, every fucking time I see the word tempura, I think tempura.
Because of him?
Because of that fucking guy.
My favorite
that
one,
little
though,
weasel.
Check it out, guys. It's Trevor James. We're down here in wherever the fuck they were at. In Mexico, just outside of Mexico City, and we're gonna have a real Mexican treat breakfast. We're gonna have the famous tamal. Oh my god.
We're gonna have the famous enchilada.
Well, I love the two that he said that he got really wrong that drove me nuts. And I was talking to the GF about this last night. Actually, was tamal, which is funny because you know she's Hispanic, but
Her Hispanic.
Yes, thank you. She's they Hispanic. But The tamal, that one drove me nuts because he's like, the tamal. And not, obviously I'm trying to say tamale, but he says tamal. But the one that actually really drove me up a wall was when he's like, oh, check it out, guys. We're going to go get some al pastor tacos. And what really bothers me about that one, personally, is that the phrase al pastor has such like, it's got almost like a sex appeal to it. You know what I mean? It's just such a pleasing phrase. Like, it just sounds good. You hear somebody say like, yeah, would you like to try some al pastor? You're like, ooh, fuck, that sounds good.
Pastor.
Al pastor.
Al pastor.
Would you like some al pastor? Fuck.
I'm your
outta
pastor,
here.
Al.
I'm Pastor Al. Check it out, guys. Oh, Trevor James. Oh, this food is gonna take you straight to heaven.
It's gonna kill you.
It's gonna fucking kill you. Muy rico.
I was just like, I love. I mean, yeah, we used to like riff off of just like funny
He's
ass
so
shit about
funny.
that guy. But like,
I still love his channel, but he's a huge dork.
I know. I just like, I was recently thinking of like how funny it would be if he was like, I'm here in this little place in Mexico, and there's this traditional meal that they enjoy here, and it's actually served out of a toilet. And so I'm here. They have assured me this is totally fresh. Yeah. It's
You know, it's funny. Back in Canada, we had something very similar that we would make that we called shit.
Yeah. They call it la cago.
They call it la caca. Okay. Anyways.
Now I believe that cago is actually Spanish for shit. I mean, you can.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is, isn't it? Okay.
But
I was
fucking
like, I hope I'm getting that right. That's why a buddy of mine told me that Chicago, like sometimes Spanish-speaking people make fun of like that because they're like, it's like Chicago. Like, yeah,
I'd really
shit.
like it if he was like, oh, check it out, guys. This is Trevor James here, and I'm in the middle of a gutter about to overdose on black tar heroin. Oh, this will take you straight to heaven. And that's like his suicide note.
Oh man.
10 out of 10. I do recommend black tar heroin sometime before you die, but not long before, because it's gonna fucking kill you.
I know two things for a fact.
Okay.
That Trevor James is a fan of the channel and that he is laughing his gills
I like
off
Trevor
right
James. I like him.
I know he's listening right
I've
now.
said I think he is a dork, but I like him.
now. I think
and
he's
I
a
like
cool
his
guy.
channel.
He's a cool guy. I mean,
bet he'd
and
be
shit.
cool
I mean, he
guy in
speaks like
person.
what now? Like 4 or 5 different
Dude,
fucking
that
languages
is
at
it
this
is
point.
fucking
That's crazy.
intense, and he speaks like it seems like fluent Mandarin, which is pretty fucking impressive. But he lives in China, dude.
He was doing that like white guy speaks perfect Chinese shit way before like these other
Oh
dorks
yeah,
were doing it.
Yeah, you've watched those too, huh?
Well, I haven't watched them, but I've certainly seen the thumbnails.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go into a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown and surprise everybody when I'm speaking perfect Chinese.
I kind of like, I hate watching, well, okay, I like Trevor James, but I hate watching that shit that's like specifically like, oh, hey, I'm a white person and I'm speaking, because it's just like, it's almost like
We get it, you're
like
white.
language porn. It's just like, wow, he really got him. He heard them like talking bad about him behind his back, and you know, it's just like, it's
Dude,
just,
there is literally that. Like, I go into a nail salon and I can tell what they're saying about me. It's like, oh.
and it's just, yeah, it's like that weird like fantasy like porn of like, oh, what if I knew like all the languages of the world and I could just like catch people red-handed talking shit about me. It's like they would never expect that I really
If
speak that
you could
language.
like, if I could fucking stamp you on the forehead with the bottom of my palm and you just instantly mastered a language, but you got to choose, like you said it out loud and I go, boom, thy will be done, and you just learned it, what fucking language would you like to instantly master?
That's fucking hard because
I
like
know.
part of me wants to say a very useful language like Spanish.
I honestly do think Spanish would be my answer.
Yeah, Spanish is probably my answer. But if we're saying just like for pure, just like fun,
Well, I mean, it could be for whatever you want. Your instant mastery.
yeah.
It could be fucking Latin if you wanted to. It could be Aramaic.
Well, I've always had a weird passing interest in Hungarian. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
like
I think Hungarian would be a fun one to look kind of learn.
I like Italian a lot, although that's the funny thing is I feel like if I instantly mastered Spanish, I would get like at least 30% of Italian. So they're pretty similar languages. And I know I might catch a lot of shit for that, but realistically, a lot of your guys' words and phrases are the same. So
Yeah.
you get mad if you want, but that's still accurate.
Yeah. Yep.
French isn't terribly dissimilar, but there's a lot more dissimilarities between French, for sure, I think.
Yep.
I would say either Spanish or Japanese.
Yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Japanese would be extremely
Japanese is
fucking
pretty cool. I did learn a little bit of Tagalog. I speak like a little, like I would not, obviously anywhere fucking near say conversational in any language other than English, but I really like studying language. I've studied a little bit
I barely
of
know
Italian.
conversational English.
Yeah, that's true. You just learned how to read.
Can't hold a fucking conversation with a stranger.
Yeah, I just learned English. No, I started learning a little bit of Tagalog. I really like Tagalog. Spanish, of course. Fucking Italian, French. There was a time where I was a little bit of Japanese. There was a time where I was trying to learn like Ukrainian, but I was using the fucking Duolingo. Like every schmuck. I was using Duolingo, and it's like, oh, cool. So you have a Ukrainian keyboard. I'm like, of course I don't have a Ukrainian keyboard.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Totally different characters and shit. Wow. Oh, bow, wow, wow. That'd be cool. Yeah, something.
What about like Arabic? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I know Habibi in Arabic.
Habibi.
You're Habibi.
Oh. Yeah, I'm blushing.
Well, I mean that's the correct response. Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's like saying like babe.
Ooh.
Like it's like one who I admire.
Jesus.
So if you could call Sarah Habibi and it would be cute.
Habibi.
Habibi.
That is like funny that it just coincidentally sounds like "Hey baby." That's quite
That may as
interesting.
well be what it is.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, but it's funny because like my Filipino coworker who I worked with, who was actually teaching me Tagalog very slowly, he would call me Habibi every day because he used to live in Saudi Arabia, so it's kind of interesting. He lived in I fucking know it. He lived in the Philippines for a long time. He was raised there, and then moved to Saudi Arabia to be an accountant of all things. Yeah, I know. It was.
I just find it more funny, like an accountant of all things.
Well, hey, here's the thing. I think I think you would find really funny because there's obviously a big cultural barrier between him and I, and you and I, for that matter. No, but between him and I wouldn't say big, but there's some certainly. And I remember talking to him once, and he was talking about how he used to live in Saudi Arabia, and I said, yeah, I've been thinking about moving out of this country. Do you think I should move to Saudi Arabia? And he goes, no, you would not like it. And I go, why? And he says, because it's too hot. And I go, that's the fucking reason I wouldn't like Saudi Arabia? Out of all of the reasons I might not like Saudi Arabia, that's the one we're going to go with? He goes, yeah, it's way too hot. It's a desert. I'm like, I'm from fucking Florida. I get that Saudi Arabia is different. It's a totally different climate, and it might even be hotter. But I think there's a lot of things I would put much higher up on that list. Like women aren't people in Saudi Arabia. Boy, that one's gonna get taken out of context. But
oh yeah, they're just gonna clip you just saying women aren't people.
Yeah. But like all of the fucking other big like reasons to have issue with their politics, maybe over the heat. I thought that was pretty funny.
So since that clip's gonna get taken out of context, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now that I don't align myself with his fucking views, and I have certainly said nothing that can be taken out of context. So I am gonna defend myself and throw Daniel under the bus here, and I'm gonna save my career. So yeah, there we go.
I'm not even gonna defend it. Like if you can't take that joke,
It's
I don't want you
hot
as a fan.
over there.
It's too hot.
Oh god.
He was a cool guy. I miss him. He was really sweet. He actually he gave me a cake and a card for my birthday. How cool is that?
No way.
Cake. He brought me a cake for my birthday.
Is it made out of sand? Oh, god.
It was made out of cheese. You'd get that if you knew anything about other cultures.
No way. Cheesecake? They eat
lot.
cheesecake over there?
No, but their desserts, a lot of their desserts have cheese in them. Filipinos.
Yummy.
Filipino desserts, I mean. They're actually really good. I like Filipino food a lot. Like, I mean, granted, obviously, I could be like, I like lumpia, I like pancit. It's like, yeah, the shit that everybody's eating. I like adobo. I like Goldilocks. Goldilocks are good. I like fucking suman and other things I can't think of. Of course, pancit and lumpia are fucking amazing, though.
Yeah.
Filipino food is awesome. I brought you suman once and you didn't eat it.
No way, that sucks.
I know. It's like coconut, sweet, sticky rice. It's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. And they like shape it out like cigars. Fucking awesome.
Nice.
Anyways, as much as I would love to talk about this Willie Nelson thing again, maybe we should shelf that for our next podcast.
I guess so. Well, yeah, I guess first I'll confer with my father and make sure that it's a legit story.
Okay.
He's a storied man, so
You know what would
I'm
be
sure
kind of
that,
fun?
I'm sure
What
that
would be
it's
really
legit,
fun
but-
is if... So your dad's not going to be in town for one day, correct?
Yeah. I don't know. That's hard to say.
I was going to say, if he is in town for like 2 or 3 days, what could be really fun is like sitting down with him and being like, hey, would you tell me some stories about Willie Nelson? And like bring your little field recorder and then we'll just inject it into the show.
Yeah. Novel idea.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
We could do it like between takes or something so we're not interrupting anyone else. That'd be a lot of fun. Anyways, people, we have had so much fun with you today. I have, at least. I can read Evan's mind, so I can tell that he hasn't. He doesn't even like doing this shit anymore. He's been telling me he's been thinking about quitting.
Oh my god.
Smoking again, I mean, not the podcast. But we've had so much fun today. It's important to remember, I think, when reflecting back on this episode, to think how much you love this show, how much you love your wonderful and gracious co-hosts, how much you love Popeye's new chicken sandwiches.
You know, I went to fucking Popeyes yesterday and they don't do the shrimp po' boy anymore. It's so fucking
Are you
disappointing.
serious?
Yeah.
That's actually upsetting. Those things are really
Disappointing.
good.
Yeah. Yep.
The shrimp poor boy.
The poor boy.
The poor boy sandwich.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that share it with your friends button. Let's see, three good things to live by. Don't smoke meth. Don't buy car insurance from an iguana man.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
chances are, if that new Jeep you're planning on buying is missing a tire, it's probably missing something else too.
Oh, lordy. Iguana man. Okay.
Hi, John Iguanaman here,
John Iguana.
signing off from the first cut. Good night, people.
Good night.